In this short video, I'm going to explain to you the proven process for raising finance from private investors to build a property investment business using a very simple 4-step framework. Now, the reason this is a proven process is because it's the exact same process that allowed our client and friend Jamie to raise £453,000 from a private investor, which he used to go and buy and do 3 HMO deals. Harry raised £90,000 from a private investor to purchase a bungalow in Sunderland and a house in Wales. Chris from Ireland raised £70,000 within 23 days for a property at auction. And Dean, within 30 days of working with us, got a commitment from an investor for £300,000. And also the process I'm going to share with you is the same process that's allowed myself to raise multiple 7 figures from private investors, which in turn has allowed me to build a £10 million plus property investment and development pipeline. Now, I'm going to share these proven processes with you in just a moment, but for complete transparency, at the end of this video, if what I share today is valuable to you, I will invite you to book a call with myself and my team to map out a personalized strategy specifically for you. So you can implement what you learn in this video and then go and raise finance from private investors and also give you a clear roadmap to achieve whatever goals you have from property. Hopefully that's fair enough. So if you want to build wealth through property investment and build really a meaningful property business, you need to understand that your own capital is a finite resource. Whether you have £5,000 or £50,000 or £250,000 in your bank account available to you, unfortunately, it will eventually run out. It is a finite resource. It will ultimately never be enough, which is why at some point, if you haven't already, you're going to have the realization that you need to learn the skill of being able to raise finance from private investors. And so if you want more proof of this point, well, I firmly believe that success leaves clues. And so if you look at some of the most successful property entrepreneurs that you might have heard of, Grant Cardone, regardless of what you think of him, he's built a $5 billion real estate portfolio in front of our eyes over the last 5 to 10 years by raising finance from private investors. The famous Candy brothers, who built the prolific One Hyde Park in Knightsbridge, plus many other significant projects, they did this by joint venturing with a billionaire from Qatar, a private investor. Steven Schwartzman, he built the most successful property investment company in the world, which is a company called Blackstone, private equity real estate company, who, as of recording right now, owns $602 billion of real estate, having raised over $300 billion from private investors that has allowed them to do that. And then most famously, Donald Trump, many of Trump's real estate deals were joint ventures. For example, the Trump Tower was a joint venture with the Equitable Life Assurance Society. He used other people's money. And even if you look at the developer down the road from you that's doing a development of a few houses, or the property investor friend you have that's renovating a project that you've seen, it's likely they're working with funding partners. And ultimately, if you don't learn this skill, you've got to ask yourself, what's the alternative? You can save up for years and years and years, taking the income from the job and the income that you have. And then what? You save up for years to buy like another property. And you buy that one property and you have to save up again to buy another one. The whole time, the longer it takes, the more that inflation is wiping away the value of the pound and house prices are increasing. Speed is your friend. And I don't know about you, but to live the life that I want to move with speed. I want to have some urgency behind my ability to do that rather than waiting decades saving up. And if you ever speak to a multi-millionaire, and even I've been fortunate enough to spend time with billionaires, they'll tell you you can't save your way to $1 billion. And some people say you can't save your way to $1 million. You can, but it's going to take you a very long time. So ultimately, if you decide to do it the long way, it will take you a decade or two before you build a meaningful enough property portfolio that allows you to achieve your financial goals. And this is the difference between what I call a landlord and landlord mentality versus becoming a business owner. Business owners are thinking in terms of scale, property as a business. How can I get better at finding deals? How can I get better access to capital? And how can I have the best team in place to help me deliver, manage, and operate the deals I want to do? And so to recap the points so far, number one, forget about how much money you do or don't have. Stop getting attached to, I've only got X amount of money. Your own capital is a finite resource. It doesn't matter. What matters is actually focusing on learning the skill of being able to raise finance from private investors. That's how you increase your access to capital. So how do we do this? Well, when it comes to scaling a property business, there are only three things you need to focus on. One is you need to develop the skill and have the system of being able to find good deals. So having a system for consistently finding good property deals, profitable property deals. Secondly, you need to get good at funding deals. And the way to do this is having access to capital to fund the deals that you find, which is primarily going to be through, yes, some of your own capital, but mostly private investors bringing funding to a project, and then also bank finance, commercial finance in the form of mortgages and development finance, bridging loans, that kind of thing. And then thirdly, once you've got good at finding deals and you can then fund these deals, you need to have good operations. So having the right team, the right systems in place to manage and deliver the projects. Now, we can talk about finding deals and operations another time, but just think for a second, like take a moment to really think how much opportunity you'd have, how much more exciting would it be if you could just unlock more access to capital by learning the skill of raising finance from investors. How valuable is this skill to you really? If you could learn this skill and you could raise £100,000 from a private investor, what about £250,000 from a private investor? What about £500,000? So when it comes to using private finance for property deals, ultimately, there are two sides to the coin. There are two things you need to learn. One, you need to understand how to find private investors that want to invest, which is understanding who are they, where do you find them, how do you speak to them, how do you present an opportunity to them, etc., which is the part of the process that most people infatuate themselves with. Most people, the first question they ask me is, well, where do I find these investors? But really, the piece of knowledge that is equally, if not more valuable, is understanding how to structure deals with investors' money. So understanding the difference between debt and equity, what legal agreements you need to use and when, the different types of security, and how to calculate risk and price the risk so you can figure out what return you offer the investor. Is that return going to be a profit share, or is it going to be an interest rate? If it is interest, is it going to be fixed and paid at the end, or is it going to be serviced monthly? How do you exit the investor from the deal? What are the FCA regulations that you need to abide by and be compliant with, etc., etc.? And the reality is, when most people say to me, hey, Tyler, how do I find these private investors? I say, well, do you know the answers to these questions? And most of the time, the answer is no. But when you have this knowledge, you can communicate and answer questions in conversations with investors with more conviction, more confidence, and in turn building more trust with that investor. And so let's start with, how do you actually find these investors? Well, first of all, finding investors is simply a marketing and sales process. It's marketing because you have to promote yourself and your opportunity to generate signals of interest. You've got to get attention from the types of people that you want to have conversations with and present an opportunity with. No different to any other business where you've got a product or service that you are selling. You have to market yourself and the product to get attention of your potential customers. And when you're raising finance, you have to get the attention of potential investors before you can even present an opportunity to them. Once you have their attention through marketing, well, then it's really just a game of sales. It's converting this interest into capital commitments, essentially actually getting them to commit to investing. Well, so let's run through the simple 4-step framework for finding and securing investors to fund your property deals. And this framework is called the 4 levels of finding investors. It's a framework that allowed Jamie to raise $453,000 for his HMOs, Harry to raise £90,000, Chris from Ireland to raise £70,000 for the property bought at auction, and Dean, who got that capital commitment of £300,000 from a private investor already. So level 1 of the framework is your personal and professional network. And the reality is, most people are pleasantly surprised with how much opportunity is within their existing personal and professional network already, especially when they learn the right way to reach out and approach these people. And I call this the low-hanging fruit, because most people that know you on a first-name basis already, most people within your personal professional network, they already know, like, and trust you. This is your family, friends, friends of friends, family of friends, old work colleagues, school friends, your accountant, your solicitor, etc., etc. If they know you already, there's going to be some level of know, like, and trust factor there, which is important. But understand this, there is a right way and there is a wrong way to approach these people. And so if you just message people in your personal network already saying, hey, do you want to invest in my projects? Your success rate is going to be very low. You're asking too much too early. Really, when we initially reach out to these people, the objective is to, one, generate an expression of interest, or what we call a signal of interest, arrange a discovery call or meeting to understand their situation, qualify them, and establish a good fit, and then ultimately generate a soft commitment from the investor. We're not asking them to invest. We're just trying to understand what is their level of appetite to potentially work together on some projects. And if there is an appetite, then you're not going to sell them the opportunity. You're going to sell them the meeting, sell them a call, where then on that call is really just discovery. And this is the exact process we teach you how to do in an exercise called the 2 degrees of separation exercise. It's the same process that Dean used to generate a commitment of £300,000 from an investor in less than 30 days of working with us, from someone that was already within his personal network. And he just needed to understand the best way to reach out to them and have that conversation with them. Level 2 is getting in the right rooms. The second way to get in proximity with investors is to go where they are already. And this is by attending events and auctions, especially property auctions, where you'll find people that have money and want to invest in property. For example, this could be property networking events, business networking events, property auctions, etc. If you think about the type of people that go to property auctions, these are people that have money, want to invest in property, and they want a good deal. Now, not everyone that goes to a property auction successfully wins a bid and wins the property you want to buy at the auction. But all of these auctions, they have a bar outside the auction room in the hotel or the country club that is hosted. Wouldn't it make sense to be able to have the skill and know what to say to go and approach these people and potentially explore working with them and then partnering with you and investing with you in your projects? It could also mean joining members clubs and high-end health clubs in your area. This has been huge for me especially. But again, there's a right way and a wrong way to approach these people that you meet. Step 1 is to get in proximity and connect with them. And then, of course, understanding the right way to approach with them. Level 3 is social media outreach, because LinkedIn specifically is one of the best ways to consistently and predictably connect and engage with prospective investors. This is because LinkedIn allows you to target based on job title and location, meaning you can easily target high-income professionals in your area and initiate conversations with them. Again, there's a right way and a wrong way to message and approach these connections on LinkedIn. And then level 4, this is ultimately where you want to get to. It's becoming an attraction business. This is the goal, because when you are an attraction business, it's where investors come to you. And this is a product of building your personal brand and your reputation and creating content that accelerates the process of nurturing prospective investors and getting them to know, like, and trust you. And most people are surprised how possible this is, even with just a small audience. So take Jessica, for example. She said, 3 discovery calls booked. Hi everyone, just wanted to share some progress. I'm not massively confident on social media like most people. However, I followed Tyler's advice and I just went for it. I created 2 social media posts explaining my new bespoke property consultancy business, and I got 3 inquiries and booked in 3 discovery calls for next week. It just shows that if you follow the blueprint Tyler gives you, it pays off. It's a proven process. And it's mastering this process that unlocked me access to more capital than I could ever need. And so these are just some screenshots of messages I've had very recently from social media. Hi, Mr. Newman, your videos appeared on my field several times and I was really hesitant about texting you. Hope you have the time to reply. We have some savings and we really would like to invest in properties, but we have no clue how to start or where to go. Happy to help. How much are you looking to start with? We have a decent amount of savings. He wants to invest using no more than £200,000. This one, just sold my business, so I have circa 400k from next week. Happy to chat, as it would be the first time investing into real estate. Another message here. Someone said, do you do development stuff as well? He says, well, I have a spare £550,000 that I need to deploy by December. So if you guys set up an SPV, which is a limited company for the investment, and have room for investment, let me know. Hi, how are you? It's been a while. I have 300 to 500k to invest. Do you have any deals? This was from a gentleman up in Leicestershire. This one, hi Tyler, hope this message finds you well. I caught your interview on a podcast with Jack Smith and I was impressed by your insights. I have a national portfolio and currently have 500k available to invest. I'm open to deploying these funds for good opportunities as either bridging finance or through joint ventures. At the moment, converting a listed building, etc., has 500k to invest. So if you ultimately want to do this, you want to build wealth through property, you have two options. Option one is you save up for years and years and years to buy property and create wealth over decades. You will do it, but it will just take you a very, very, very long time. Or option two, you want to model the most successful property entrepreneurs, copy what works. Success leaves clues. So go and learn the skills of finding great deals, raising private finance from investors, and operating like a business owner. And if that's what you want to do, if the second option is your preferred route and you have access to at least £20,000 to start your property journey, you're open-minded and willing to learn and invest in yourself, and you're most importantly fully committed to your success and have a do whatever it takes, go all in mentality, I want to invite you to book a call with myself or my team where we will help you raise your first £100,000 plus in private investor finance and secure a profitable property deal in the next 120 days. And we do this by working one-to-one with you to execute a proven step-by-step process to raise that £100,000 plus in private investor finance and secure a profitable deal in the next 120 days. And if we don't do it in 120 days, maybe life gets in the way and you have to put a pause on things. We'll just continue to work with you for free until you do. So if you'd like to find out more, there'll be a link in the description to this video. It'll be the first link, which will take you to a short walkthrough video of exactly our program, Property Blueprint, how it works, what you can expect from it. And if you decide it's something you'd like to explore further, this is something you'd like to do, there'll be an opportunity for you to book that discovery call where we can go through your goals, where you're at right now, give you the clarity you need on what that roadmap is going to look like to make that happen. And if we decide that we want to work together and you want to work with us and we can help you make it a reality, well, then we'll give you all the information you need. Click the link in the description. Look forward to speaking to you soon.